Hello students, we'll deal about refraction at plane surface. So we'll learn about refraction first. You know plane surface. We'll learn about refraction. What is refraction? Correct now? I will tell you that. Let me take one boundary which separates two medium. Let's say this is regular medium. This is denser medium. Now I call it as an error medium. I am not talking about mass here. I am talking about optical density. The optical density of this medium is less as compared to the optical density of this medium. Usually you will find a material in earth where mass is more, optical density is more. But certain materials also are there, even mass is less, optical density will be more. What is optical density? Then, when I am talking about density, I am talking about optical density. Optical density refers to speed of light. What it refers to? It's speed of light. Which means, if a light is traveling from one medium to other medium, there is a change in the speed of light. So, based on that, we have brought a term called optical density, which refers to speed of light. Suppose I say optical density is more, that means the speed of light in that medium is going to reduce, as compared to speed of light in air. Speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So as compared to that, if I say optically denser, means speed of light is going to reduce. Rarer medium, optical density, what is that? Optical density is less, means speed of light in that medium will be more. Got it now? So usually when the light travels from rarer medium, from one medium to other medium, what is that? Speed of light is going to change. That is why we have brought up this term called optical density. What is it? Denser medium means optical density is more. Means speed of light in the medium will be less. Once again I am repeating. Speed of light is less means, I can say in a medium speed of light is more means the density, optical density will be less. What is it? Optical density less, speed of light more. Optical density more, speed of light is less. This is one part. Correct now? I will take one normal and this boundary which separates these two mediums we call interface. What is that? Interface of two media. Two media. That means these are two medias. This is the boundary which separates two mediums. What is that? Now, let's say one ray of light is coming. This is incident ray. Correct? This is incident ray. Now what happens? When light travels from one medium to other medium, it will deviate its path. Its path was supposed to be like this, but it has gone like this. This ray we call refracted ray. What is that we call? Refracted. So, what is a refraction? If you ask me. Refraction is a phenomenon, natural phenomenon, where there is a bending of light takes place when light travels from one medium to another medium. One medium to another medium means I am talking about change in their optical densities. What is it? This bending of light, let's say this is I, this is R, where I is the angle of incidence, this is angle of refraction. This ray I call refracted ray, which is getting deviated about the path of this ray of light, incident ray. Correct now? Now, that means one conclusion, two conclusions I will give. What is that? If a ray of light travels from one medium to another medium, that is the medium of different optical densities, two things are happening here. One, speed of light is going to change. In this case, speed of light has to reduce because this is denser medium. Here speed of light will be more as compared to here. And second thing, ray of light getting deviated. And one thing you have to remember, in what way it is getting deviated? In what way it is getting deviated? When ray of light passes through from rarer medium to denser medium, the light ray will bend towards the north. This is second conclusion which is happening. Correct now? If light is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, think oppositely. Think that from denser medium to rarer medium, you reverse this ray of light. What will happen? When light travels from denser medium to rarer medium, it will bend away from the north. So two conclusions when light travels from one medium to other medium. What are those two things? One, speed of light is going to change. Another one, deviation in the path is going to happen. So let us study right now. First, speed of light is going to change. I will come later. Laws of refraction, I will come later to the bending of light. Speed of light is going to change. So to define that speed of light, when I said to define that speed of light, we have introduced to a new term. What is that term? We call refractive index of the medium. Refractive index of the material. Refractive index of the material means it refers to the factor. It refers to the factor how the speed of light is changing when it travels from one medium to other medium. This is why we introduce a new term called refractive index of the material. So we will do that. Correct? Huh? So we will study about refractive index of the material. Refractive index of the material. Or even you can call this as a optical density of the material. What is that? Optical density of material, which is denoted by mu or n. Which is denoted by mu or n. To decide how the speed of light is changing, we brought up a factor called refractive index of the material. So refractive index or optical density of the material to define what? Speed of light. How speed of light is changing. So how it is being defined? In this, two types we have. One is absolute refractive index. Another one is relative refractive index. Nothing much deal about this. Both definitions are same. Still, at certain case, it is important to know what is absolute refractive index and what is relative refractive index. Correct now? So, let us deal about absolute refractive index. What do you mean by absolute refractive index? If you ask me, absolute refractive index the basic definition, let us take mu. Mu is the symbol for absolute refractive index. It is the ratio of speed of light to the speed of light in the medium. It is the ratio of speed of light to the speed of light in medium. What is mu? Mu is the refractive index of the medium. Are you understanding this? The basic definition. Absolute refractive index is the absolute refractive index of a particular material, of a medium is defined as mu is equal to ratio of speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in medium. Are you understanding this? Where mu is the refractive index of the medium, v is the velocity of speed of light in the medium, c is the speed of light in air or vacuum. So this is the absolute refractive index of the medium mu. Correct? Mu is the what is that? Absolute refractive index of the medium. Very basic definition. You are comparing the speed of light in a particular medium with respect to air or vacuum. Speed of light in air or vacuum. That is mu. Then what is relative refractive index of the medium? What is relative refractive index of the medium? Let's say one medium has got refractive index mu1. The absolute refractive index of the medium 1 will be c by v1, where c is the speed of light in vacuum, V1 is the speed of light in that medium. Correct now? And m2 is equal to c by v2, where mu2 is the refractive index of second medium, another medium, and v2 is the speed of light in that medium. I can write this one as mu2 by mu1. If I ratio them, I can write mu2 by mu1 as what? V1 by v2. Correct now? Are you understanding? Mu2 by mu1 is nothing but V1 by V2. I will ratio, you ratio them, you will get V1 by V2. This is nothing but refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. This is nothing but refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. So here what is mu1 2 means Ri of medium 2. I am talking about Ri of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. Are you understanding this? What is mu1 then? mu1 is the refractive index of the first medium with respect to air. Are you understanding? That is nothing but absolute refractive index. mu2 is the refractive index of the second medium with respect to air or vacuum. Here also air or vacuum, here also air or vacuum. Basic definition is absolute refractive index of the medium is given by mu is equal to c by v for a particular medium. And if I take two different mediums, mu1 will become, mu2 will become. Here I didn't write anything. It means that I am comparing with the air or vacuum. That is a standard definition. Now relative means you are comparing the speed of light with other medium other than air or vacuum. This thing you have to remember. So that is why when I write like this, mu2 means refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. So mu1 is nothing but mu2 by mu1, which is nothing but v1 by v2. Now this is nothing but what? Relative refractive index. Relative refractive index of the material. What is that? This is nothing but relative refractive index of the material, which is given by, when I write like this, mu2 by mu1, which will be equal to velocity of the first medium divided by velocity of the second medium. Suppose if I write like this, what do you mean by this? Mu1, mu2 means what? Refractive index of the first medium with respect to second medium. Are you understanding this? This will be, it can be written as mu1 by mu2. This is also another refractive index. Here what it will become? V2 by V1. What is it? V2 by V1. So this is about, what is that? Refractive index, relative refractive index and absolute refractive index. Anything we can use. Generally, if you move on, if I write like that, you have to understand that once I write like this, some textbook they will write to this in a superscript here. Correct now? So you must know the difference of this. Mu2 by mu1, which is v1 by v2, mu1 by mu2, which is nothing but v2 by v1. Got it now? Okay, this is about refractive, relative refractive index. Now, see here. Another difference between these two. We have one difference. Absolute refractive index of a material will always be greater than 1. Will always be greater than 1. Why, if you ask me? Because always you are comparing speed of light in vacuum with respect to, you are doing the ratio of speed of light with respect to speed of light in a particular medium. One thing you must know that speed of light in vacuum is the highest speed of light which we have measured. So there is no medium we can find where speed of light is more than that value. Any medium when light passes, it will have a less velocity as compared to vacuum. So always when you take any medium here, mu will be always greater than 1. But that is not possible here. Here mu2 can be greater than 1 or mu2 can be less than 1. Both possibilities here. Because you are comparing the speed of light with another medium. That's the difference here. Correct now? The possibility of this, the possibility of less than 1, more than 1 is possible. Can be satisfied, I can say. Got it up? So this is about relative refractive index. Next. Relation of refractive index with wavelength. What is the relation of refractive index with wavelength? We know what is that? We know that mu2 1 is equal to mu2 by mu1 is equal to v1 by v2. Correct? As v is equal to f lambda, I can write this equation as f lambda 1 divided by f lambda 2. So mu2 by mu1 can be written as lambda 1 by 2. This is the relation of refractive index of the material with respect to wavelength. Wavelength more in the medium, refractive index of the material will be more. Wavelength of light. Now one thing you have to understand here. When I have taken v is equal to f lambda, when light passes from one medium to other medium, what happens in these three variables? Wavelength of the light is going to change. That is why wavelength is depending on light. Correct? No? So here, one thing what you can see is, when light travels from one medium to another medium, what are the things which are going to change? I have not taken f I have taken constant here, but lambda 1 and lambda 2 I have taken this one. What is that? Variable. When light travels from one medium to another medium, what happens? Certain things are going to change. When light travels from one medium to another medium, certain things are going to change. What are these? These three factors are going to change. Generally, when light travels from one medium to another medium, when I am talking about light, don't get confused with the dispersion. Dispersion is made up of different frequencies of light. Correct now? When I am dealing with the light here, I am talking about a single frequency of light. Correct now? Of a light which has got a particular frequency here. That means when light travels from one medium to another medium, its velocity changes because its wavelength is going to change. Its velocity changes because its wavelength is going to change. And intensity also changes. So these are the factors when light travels from one medium to another medium which are going to change. Then what about frequency? Correct now? Frequency is not going to change. It only depends on the source. You have to remember. Frequency never changes if light travels from one medium to another medium. It totally depends on the source produced. How the source is producing that light with particular frequency, it always remains same. But in case of dispersion, you will find different lights because of different frequency, because we are taking their white light. Here we are taking only monochromatic light. Monochromatic means almost all single type of frequency. When I am dealing, still I not came to dispersion. Don't get confused. And one thing, frequency of light decides the color. Correct now? Color of light. Don't say wavelength changing, color of light is changing. If color of light is different because of the different frequency of light. Are you understanding this? Color of light it is not due to the fact of change in wavelength. Wavelength is changing means velocity, speed of light is going to change. That is why refractive index of the medium, you will have inverse proportionality. If wavelength is reducing means, what is happening there? Wavelength is reducing means refractive index of that material will be high. That is what I am trying to tell. So V is equal to f lambda. This is the reason I will be taking f and f, constant. Any medium it goes, or a particular frequency of light, its wavelength are changing according to the different refractive index of the medium. This is what we have to give conclusion. And color of light depends on frequency of light, not on wavelength. What is the? Okay. If correct now, mu2 is a particular medium. What is the refractive index of the medium? Mu. Let's say mu1 is vacuum. When I say mu1 is vacuum, in vacuum, let's say the wavelength of light lambda 1 is lambda naught, lambda 2 let it be lambda 2. Then from this equation I can write mu2 by 1 is equal to lambda naught by lambda 2. Why 1? What is the basic definition of what is that refractive index of the medium? Refractive index of the medium is C by D, or what is that? It is C by D. If the medium is air, velocity of the medium is air, then V will become equal to C. When V will become equal to C, refractive index of the medium in vacuum comparing to vacuum will be how much? C by C, which will be 1. So I can write refractive index of the medium in air or vacuum. In air or vacuum will be equal to 1. So that is why I have taken here 1. So refractive index of the medium or air is 1. What it now? This is 1. So let's move on. Next. So conclusion what I can give here once again. What is that? Here, if refractive index of the medium is more means the speed of light in that medium is less. That is what the relation. Now we shall deal about another term called optical path. What is that? Optical path. Optical path of the medium, I can say, or optical path length of the medium. Optical path length. Better I will take optical path. In that optical path length difference, path difference. Two terms are going to come. What is this optical path? It is most of the time is useful in, here also it is useful in certain cases. In wave optics also it is useful. So listen. Let me take one medium. Correct? If I take one medium, let's say this is point A, this is point B. Now imagine that the thickness of this slab having refractive index mu. The thickness of this slab having refractive index mu is B. Think that light is traveling from point A to B. Let's take the speed of light as V. Correct? To travel the speed of light, to travel the light from point A to B, imagine it will take time t. What is time t? Time taken by the light to travel from point A to B. V is the speed of light, V is the refractive index of the medium, and D is the t. Now imagine this is in slab having this is in the material which is having a refractive index mu. Imagine now in air. Now this is in air. Light travels from point A dash to B dash. Usually when light travels inside the medium, when it is outside, light will be traveling in a vacuum, that is speed of light 3 into 10 to the power of 8. Once it enters the medium, its speed is going to reduce. We know this. Correct? Now imagine, I will compare this. In the same time, what is that? In the same time t, imagine the speed of the light which is traveling, the speed of light we will see here. The light which is traveling in a vacuum, think that it travels from A dash to B dash. In what time? Two things I said. In time t, let's say the light travels from point A to B. Here, imagine in the same time t, the light travels from A dash to B dash. Got it? Here AB we call geometrical path. Got it now? Geometrical path of the material. AB we call, the distance AB we call geometrical path, length of the material of this line. Now what I assume in same time t, the light traveled from A dash to B dash with the speed of light how much? C. In what time? As the time taken by this slab to travel from A to B. Are you understanding? Now this distance traveled by light. Distance traveled by light in a time t where the light is traveling in the medium from point A to B. Are you understanding this? Now this A dash, B dash, we call it as a optical path length. What is that? Optical path length of this material. The distance traveled by light in vacuum, which covers in the same time as the time covered by the light in the medium. Are you understanding this? As the time covered in the medium. The distance covered by the light in vacuum in a particular time. In what time? The time the light is traveling in the medium. If the light travels from A to B in time t, in vacuum if it is traveling with the same time t from A dash to B dash, AB we call it as a geometrical path of the material, and A dash B dash we call as the optical path of the material, optical path length of this material. I am comparing the light distance traveled in terms of air to this medium. Are you understanding this? This A dash B dash we call optical length. Since time is equal to V by D, sorry, are you sure it is V by D? No. Time is equal to D by V here, time taken by the light to travel, and which will be equal to also, what is that? A dash B dash divided by C. So I need to calculate A dash B dash. What is A dash B dash? Optical path length. A dash B dash will be equal to what? C into D divided by V. What is C by V here? We know that mu is equal to C by V. We know that mu is equal to C by V. Absolute refractive index. Correct? Huh? So A dash B dash will be equal to what? Mu into V. So optical path length of the medium mu is how much? Mu times of the D. What is the distance traveled by light from point A to B? Optical path of the medium is how much? Mu times of D. This is important one. Correct now? Now, here another term we have. What is that? This side of it. Optical path difference. We have optical path difference. Optical, sorry, I will write a little bit bigger. Optical path difference. What is this optical path difference? If optical path difference, let us take as delta x. What is it? This delta x is nothing but A dash B dash minus AB. Correct now? What is AB here? What is A dash B dash there? Mu into D. What is AB here? It is D. So delta x, optical path difference, is how much? Mu minus 1 into D. This is very important relation, you must know. What is this is very important relation, you must know. Mu minus 1 into D. This is the optical difference of the path of this medium. Are you understanding this? Okay. Okay, there is one question. See that. Just find the speed of light. What do you have to find? speed of light of wavelength, how much? Lambda is equal to 780 nanometer. That wavelength is in a medium Ri 1.5. You have to find the speed of light in the medium which has got a wavelength of light in air is how much? 780 nanometer. First one. A. What is asking? Speed of light in medium. Correct now? Speed of light in medium. Speed of light in air is how much? 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. Correct now? We know I'll relative refractive index for better understanding. Mu2 by mu1 is equal to v1 by v2. Correct now? Here mu1 is the refractive index in air. If I consider air, this will become 1. v1 will become c. We must calculate v2. Here v1 we have to calculate. Here what I can say? v1 is equal to c. v2 is equal to v. mu1 is equal to 1. mu2 is equal to, let's take mu. So I can write this one as, what is that? I can write this one as mu is equal to c by, or v is equal to c by mu. We know the value of mu. We know the value of speed of light in air. How much? 3 into 10 to the power of 8 divided by 1.55. How much it is? 3 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by 1.55. It will be nearly equal to around 1.94 into 10 to the power of 8 meters. This is the answer. This is the first question. What is that? Very simple numerical. Or directly you can take mu is equal to c by v if you have well understood this. This is how much? 1.94 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. Second question. What is the second question? Find the what is the wavelength of this light in the given condition. Mu how much? 1.55 mu. And what he has given? Lambda in air is how much? 780 nanometer. So you know that mu is equal to lambda in air divided by lambda. We must find lambda, where lambda is the refractive index of the medium. So I can write, what is this? Lambda is equal to lambda air by mu, which will be equal to 780 into 10 to the power of minus 9 divided by 1.5. 1.5. How much it is? It will be around 503.2. It will be around 503.2 into 10 to the power of minus 9, or nearly I can take 503 nanometer. Nearly I can take 503 nanometer. Let us take another problem. Refractive index of glass with respect to water is 9 by 8. Refractive index of glass with respect to air is 3 by 2. Find the refractive index of water with respect to air. So the given things, mu g with respect to water, how much? 9 by 8. Mu g with respect to air, how much? 3 by 2. The question being asked, what is that? Find the ratio of array of water with respect to air. This is the question. So if I write the definition, you can get an idea. Mu GW, refractive index of glass with respect to water, can be written as mu G by mu W. Refractive index of glass with respect to air can be written as mu G by mu A. Refractive index of air with respect to vacuum, refractive index of glass with respect to vacuum. Refractive index of water with respect to air, refractive index of water divided by refractive index of air. Got it, no? Refractive index of water divided by refractive index of. To get this result from these two equations, can we do that? What I must do for that? What I must do? I must divide this equation by this equation. If I divide this equation by this equation, what I am going to get? I am going to get mu w by mu. So mu g a divided by mu g w. Mu g a divided by mu g w. What I will get? Mu g into mu a into mu g divided by mu a into, I am dividing this. I am dividing this means mu w into mu. Gets cancelled. What is the remaining? The remaining will be mu g divided by, what is that? What is remaining here? Let me write here. Remaining is mu w divided by mu a. What is mu w divided by mu a? Is nothing but refractive index of glass with respect to air divided by refractive index of glass with respect to water is nothing but refractive index of water with respect to air. This is what I am trying to do. Correct now? Refractive index of water with respect to air, which will be equal to, what is mu g a? 3 by 2. 3 by 2 4 divided by 9 by 8. How much it is? 3 by 2 4 divided by 18 divided by 18. Correct? 2 9s are 18. 24 divided by 18. 24 divided by 8 3s are 24. 24 divided by 8. So how much? Answer is 6 4s are 24, 6 3s are 8. So the answer will be how much? The answer will be 4 by 3. Answer is 4 by 3. Shall take another question. A ray of light passes through two slabs of same thickness. Two slabs I am taking which are having same thickness. In the first slab, N1 waves are formed. In the second slab, N2 waves are formed. Number of waves formed in a slabs which are having same thickness is how much? N1 and N2. Find the refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. According to question, if I make a diagram, let's say this is T. Two diagrams are given. Correct now? The number of waves formed here, how much? This is T. Same thickness. The number of waves formed. This is one complete wave. One crust and trough is complete one wave. Correct now? One crust and trough is one complete wave. So how many number of waves are formed? N1. Here how many number of waves are formed? N2. If you ask me what is the thickness of this slab can be written as N1 is the number of waves. Each wave contains how much length? Lambda length. Correct now? Each waves contains, what is that? Each wave contains how much length? Lambda 1. That is the wavelength of first wave. N2 waves. N2 is the number of waves formed in a thickness T. Each length of the wave is wavelength of the wave. Now how many number of waves we have? N2. So the total length of the waves formed is N2 into lambda. So T thickness will be equal to N2 into lambda. How? This is the length of single wave. How many waves are there? N2 waves. this into this will give me total thickness. Correct? Within this same thickness, here L1 number of waves forms having a lambda L1 wavelength. Within the same thickness, in second condition, N2 number of waves are formed having the wavelength lambda 2. What is the question? Question is, if I consider this as the mu1 medium, this as the mu2 medium, this is mu1 medium, mu2 medium, find the Ri of second medium with respect to first medium. We know that mu2 by mu1 is what? Lambda 1 by lambda 2. This is the Ri of second medium with respect to first. What is lambda 1? From this you see. What is lambda 1? Lambda 1 can be written as T divided by N1 whole divided by, what is lambda 2? Lambda 2 can be written as T divided by N2. T divided by N2. So, refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium. This will go up, N1 will come down, N2 by N1. This is one of the important relations. You can say it is one of the important relations. Number of waves formed N2 in second medium, number of waves formed in first medium. In terms of refractive index of the second medium with respect to first medium. Okay, yes. Loss of refraction. Loss of refraction. So we have studied about the concept of refractive index of a material. We will come to loss of refraction. What is this loss of refraction? You learn. Let me consider one interface. What is this? Interface of two media. What are those two media? I am taking this side rarer medium. Let me take it as a mu1 refractive index. Downside as denser medium. That is, I am taking one plane on this. I am taking one plane on this. This plane I call plane of incidence. What is that I call? Plane of incidence. Imagine one normal line perpendicular to this interface of two medium. Correct? Upside is what is that? Air medium. Downside is denser medium. This is a plane of incidence. This is incident ray. Got it? Now, since the light is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, it has to bend towards the normal. As I said before, this is angle of incidence. This is angle of refraction. Correct now? I believe you are understanding this. Now this normal, this incident ray, this refracted ray, all three lies in one plane called plane of incidence. What are these laws of refraction? First law tells that incident ray, comma, refracted ray, comma, and plane of incidence, and not plane. Sorry, and normal lie in the same plane. They lie in the same plane. This is first law of physics. This incident ray, that is what plane? Plane of incidence. It all these things lie in the same plane. Second one, the ratio of the sine of the incidence angle to the ratio of the sine of the refracted angle. Here one thing I missed, sorry, here. Denser medium 2 having refractive index 2. What is this second point says? What is this says? It says that the ratio of sine of an angle, incidence to the ratio of a sine of an angle of refracted ray. That is ratio of sine of an angle of incidence to the sine of an angle of refracted ray will be equal to second point. What second law of refraction says? The ratio of sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction, angle of refracted ray is equal to sin I by sin R, that is equal to refractive index of the first medium with refractive index of the second medium with respect to first medium. This is what is that? Second law of refraction says. What is that? Refractive index of the second medium with respect to first medium. Second medium I call for the medium where refracted ray is there. First medium I call for the ray where incident ray is there. So when light travels from this medium to this medium, this will become second medium for us, this will become first medium for us. So refractive index of the second medium with respect to first medium is given by sin I by sin R, or which is nothing but mu2 by mu1. Mu2 by mu1. So mu2 by mu1, mu2 by mu1 mu2 by mu1. Now I can write mu2 by mu1 is equal to sin I by sin R, or mu1 into sin I will be equal to mu2 into sin R. What is it? Mu1 into sin I will be equal to mu2 into sin R. So what is that thing you have observed here? For the first medium, angle of incidence I am considering. For the second medium, angle of refraction I am considering. That is how you have to remember. And this formula we call Snell's law. What is this? This formula we call it as Snell's law. When ray of light travels from first medium to second medium, rarer medium to denser medium, the light is going to bend towards the normal. Where second law will give you the ratio of sin I by sin R is refractive index of the second medium to first medium. Correct? This is about Snell's law. This formula we call Snell's law. This is only Snell's law, but better to write like this and call it as Snell's law. This is one thing. These are the two laws of refraction. Next, another thing. What is that? Let us talk about principle of reversibility of light. What is that? Principle of reversibility of light. We shall talk about. Let us talk about principle of reversibility. What is that? Principle of reversibility of light. What is this principle of reversibility of light is coming in this concept of refraction means, imagine I will keep one mirror here. What is that? I am keeping one mirror here such that this refracted ray will incident on this mirror perpendicular. Let's say here. If it incidents perpendicular, it will reflect back. Who will reflect back? This refracted ray. This refracted ray will reflect back and retraces its same path. After traveling through this interface, it will again retraces its path, the path which was occupied by the incident ray before. Correct, no? That means if I keep one mirror here, if the ray of light is going back in the same direction as the refracted ray is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, it will retrace back. After refraction also, it will retrace back in the same direction as incident ray has come previously. Correct, no? As incident ray has come previously, it is going to retrace its path. Now, according to this principle of reversibility, what is that principle of reversibility? If I reverse this direction of this ray of light, if I treat this is the incident ray and this is the refracted ray, it retraces the same path, the path which was there when light was entering from rarer medium to denser medium. Correct now? It occupies the same path, or it follows the same path. Now from this, now this has become what? Incident ray. Light is, now this condition tells me light is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. So when light is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, what is the angle of incidence? It will be R. What is the angle of refraction? It will be I. In the same diagram I will show. Correct now? Now, if you want to write Snell's law here, refractive index of the second medium, which will be second medium? Rarer medium, where refracted ray is there, that will be a second medium. Correct now? In principle of reversibility, when light ray reverses its path, I can write refractive index of the first medium, that is second medium, with respect to first medium, will be given as sin I by sin R. In this case, what is I? R is the I, and I will become R. Correct now? So I can write this will be equal to sin R by sin R. Refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium, when light travels from denser medium to rarer medium. Got it now? Sin R by sin I it becomes, and see here, one thing you know, what is sin I by sin R? Mu1, mu2 with respect to 1 is sin I by sin R. So from these two expressions, I can write refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium will be equal to 1 divided by refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. Or I can write refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium into refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium will be equal to 1. Will be equal to 1. Yes or no? Will be equal to 1. What is that? Or else let me write here. From this relation, I can write here mu1. Don't have space. From here, you see. From here, I can write mu1 into 2. Mu1 with respect to 1. Mu2 into 1 will be equal to 1. This is what I find. What is it? This is about principle of reversal. So, one thing you can observe here. What is that? If light is incidenting from rarer medium to denser medium, if I reverse the path, direction of the light ray, still it retraces its complete path, what it was coming before. Are you understanding this? What it was coming before. So, when it is retracing its path, light is moving, when light travels from denser medium to rarer medium, the deflection happens away from the normal. This is what you have to do. Let me try to write laws of refraction in vector form. For that, let me consider one interface, and this is having medium m1, mu2, this is mu1, this is mu2, and imagine this is direction of this normal is n cap. What is that? Direction of this normal is n cap. One angle of incidence, one incident ray is coming. Let us take the direction of this incident ray as E1 cap. Now it gets refracted. This is the angle of refraction, this is the angle of incidence. Let us take the direction of refracted as E2 cap. What is E2 cap? Unit vector along. What is the magnitude of unit vector? 1. The value of this vector is 1. What it only refers to direction. E2 is the unit vector along the direction refracted ray. E1 is the unit vector along the direction incident ray. N cap is the unit vector along normal line to the interface. Correct? To the interface. Now, first law, what it says, First law of refraction. What it says? The incident ray, the refracted ray, and the plane and the normal all lie in the same plane. Correct? If I want to just write the directions of them, I can write E1 I cap dot E2 cap cross n cap will be equal to 0. This is the way of writing. What is that? Plane of what is that? All the rays lies in the same plane. How can I predict it? See, E2, the cross product of n cap and E2 cap, somewhere it will be here or inside the direction. Correct? Now? The cross product of this one and this one. Correct? Now? If I make the cross product of E2 cap and n cap, the direction of this cross product will be either in this direction or in this direction. So this direction is perpendicular to E1 cap. The thumb represents the direction. The thumb represents the direction. So E1 cap dot this direction will be equal to 0 because both are perpendicular. The two perpendicular dot product of two perpendicular vectors is 0. So I can predict that they are in a same plane. I can say from this expression. Second one, second law. What is that second law? Sin I by sin R, same thing I am writing, is equal to mu2 by mu1. Mu2 by mu1, or you can write mu1 into sin I will be equal to mu2 into sin R. Or you can write mu into sin theta is equal to constant. Mu into sin theta is constant. Correct now? Mu1 is the first medium, mu2 is the second medium. In mu1, incident ray is there, in mu2, refracted ray is there. So mu1 into first medium into sin incidence, second medium into sin R, such that mu into sin theta. Mu is the refracted rays of the medium. In that medium, the angle of refracted ray or incident ray will make with the normal. That remains constant for that time. Correct now? Then this is one thing. Then let us show vector. This is nothing but what? Snell's law. This is nothing but what? Snell's law. So let me write Snell's law in vector form. Let me write Snell's law in vector form. Let me write Snell's law in vector. The same diagram I will take, or I will do one thing. I will rub these things and let me draw another diagram. Correct now? No, same from the same diagram I am going to take better. I am going to rub this now. Rub these reading also. See here, what is this Snell's law in vector form says? We know that mu1 into sin I is equal to mu2 into sin I. Correct? We know that mu1 into sin I is equal to mu2 into sin I. Here, one thing, using cross product, see here, if I do cross product of E1 cross n cap, if I do a cross product of E1, what is that? E1 and what is this? E1 cap. Correct? If I do the cross product of E1 cap and n cap, I will use the concept of finding out what is cross product of A cross B, AB sin theta. In this case, value of A and value of B is 1. So here, if I do E cross n cap, 1 into 1, 1 into 1 into angle between them. If this is E1 cap, if this is n cap, what is this angle? This angle will be what? This angle will be, this is 180, that is pi minus I. So I can write here sine of pi minus I. Correct now? I can write sine of pi minus I. E1 cap cross N1 cap will be equal to 1 into sine of pi minus I. Sine of pi minus I. So E1 cross N cap, N1 cap. Sorry, this is not N1 cap, it has to be N cap. Sine of pi minus theta. Sine of 180 minus theta. Sine theta. Sine I will become E cross N. If I do E2 cross N cap, what I will get? If I do E2 cross N cap, what I will get? E2 cross N cap, that is nothing but I am talking about which angle? This angle. I am talking about this angle. Correct now? So magnitude of E2 cap is 1, N cap is 1, the angle between the AB sin theta. This angle. What is this angle? This angle is 180 minus R. Correct now? It is 180 minus R. 180 minus R. So I can write this one as sine of pi minus R. Sine of pi minus R. So I can write E2 cap cross N cap as sine R. Look at this equation. Look at this equation. This is the value of sine 1, sine R. This is the value of sine R. So this equation I can write now Snell's law in vector form. Mu1 into sine I. What is sine I? E1 cross N cap is equal to mu2. What is sine R? E2 cap cross N. This is the Snell's law in vector form. What it knows?